By 1983, one of the most influential men in Central America is Panama's new dictator, Manuel Noriega. His secret work for the CIA and for others, including the Colombian Medellin drug cartel, earns him some important and powerful allies.
And during that time, there's a tremendous historical irony. George H.W. Bush, Noriega's old CIA handler, is now running a vice presidential task force inside the Reagan administration, which is pledged to stamp out the flow of drugs from Latin America into the U.S. Talk about the inmates running the asylum.
The deeper Noriega sinks into the world of international drug smuggling, the more vital he becomes to his North American friends. Many Panamanians are incensed by Noriega's oppressive rule and his support by the U.S. government, but few dare to speak out against the brutal dictator, and those that do so at their own peril. In the fall of 1985, Panamanian political activist Hugo Spadafora announces he's returning from exile to confront Noriega in the political ring.
Hugo Spadafora was a vocal and charismatic critic of Noriega. When Spadafora, living in exile in Costa Rica, crossed over into Panama, he was detained by the PDF, and the next time he was seen, it was his decapitated body in a U.S. mail bag. Noriega usually used intimidation. He would have someone arrested, incarcerated, he would have them tortured, but very rarely would he kill them, as in the case of Spadafora.
The brutal killing of rival Hugo Spadafora exposes Noriega's ruthless methods to the world. Nervous politicians in the United States begin to worry about their well-known ties to the dictator. In 1987, Reagan is forced to change his stance and take action. He tells Noriega to establish a civilian government and threatens stiff sanctions if he does not comply. The general does not blink. He stands in defiance of the American president.
No hay otro! No hay otro!
So Reagan threatens to cut off Panama's military and economic aid. Through the media, he transforms America's vision of Manuel Noriega.
For the Reagan administration, Noriega had suddenly become too hot to handle. All people inside the administration and the media wanted to talk about was his tyranny, his crime, his corruption, and his connections to the drug cartels.
The spotlight is on Noriega now. He's a drug trafficker. He cuts off people's heads and tortures people. He's a violator of human rights.
In February of 1988, the Reagan administration lands a decisive blow as two grand juries in Florida charge Manuel Noriega with felony crimes.